the morning of April 23, 1964. A local law enforcement officer in Socorro, New Mexico, named Lonnie Zamora, was in pursuit of a speeding car. His attention was diverted by a roaring sound and a flame in the sky to the southwest. Thinking a local dynamite shack might have exploded, he broke off the chase and went to investigate. What he reported next would become one of the most thoroughly documented, yet persistently unresolved events in the history of aerial phenomenon investigations. Officer Zamora's account, supported by physical evidence, created a puzzle that has been examined by law enforcement, the military, and scientists for decades. It remains a case study in how verifiable facts can sometimes lead to an unverified conclusion. The year was 1964. The Cold War was at its peak, and the space race was accelerating. White Sands Missile Range, a key site for American rocketry and military technology, was just a short distance from Socorro. Experimental aircraft and missile tests were not unusual in this part of the New Mexico desert. Lonnie Zamora was a respected police sergeant with no history of sensationalism. His life and career were firmly grounded in the tangible reality of his community. At approximately 5:45 p.m., he drove his patrol car up a rough mesa road to get a better view of the disturbance. Cresting a hill, he saw what he initially believed was an overturned white car standing on its end in a shallow arroyo. Two figures, which he described as being the size of small adults or large children, appeared to be beside it. As he got closer, his perspective changed. The object was not a car. He described it as a shiny, metallic, egg-shaped craft, standing on two girder-like legs. The figures he had seen were gone. As he watched, a loud roar started, then became a high-frequency whine. A blue flame shot from the underside of the object. Fearing it was about to explode, Zamora ran, ducked behind his patrol car, and then continued to a safer distance. He watched the object rise vertically, level out, and then fly away silently at high speed toward the southwest. He immediately radioed his dispatcher, asking for the police chief to come to his location. His voice on the recording was audibly shaken. Within minutes, New Mexico State Police Sergeant Sam Chavez arrived. Chavez would later state that Zamora was white as a sheet and clearly disturbed by what he had seen. Together, they examined the site. They found 4 distinct V-shaped impressions in the hard desert ground where the landing gear was said to have been. The depressions were roughly 3 to 4 inches deep. They also found several small, scorched patches of brush directly beneath the area where Zamora said the flame had appeared. These details were not just part of Zamora's verbal report. They were physical traces on the landscape, documented by multiple officers. Within hours, the site was swarmed by investigators. The FBI was notified, and representatives from the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, its official study of unidentified flying objects, arrived. Captain Hector Quintanilla, the director of Blue Book, took charge of the military investigation. Scientists were also brought in, including Dr. J. Allen Hynek, an astronomer and the project's primary scientific consultant. The investigation was meticulous. Soil samples were taken from the landing impressions. The scorched plants were collected for analysis. Zamora was subjected to extensive interviews and polygraph tests, which he passed. Investigators canvassed the area, finding other witnesses who reported hearing a loud roar around the same time, though none had seen the object up close. They checked with all military and civilian aviation authorities. Holloman Air Force Base and White Sands Missile Range confirmed they had no experimental craft or scheduled tests in that specific area at that time. No conventional aircraft, helicopter, or balloon could be matched to Zamora's description or the physical evidence left behind. The Air Force analyzed every angle. They considered the possibility of a prank, but the physical evidence, the deep indentations in the hard ground, suggested an object of considerable weight, making a hoax difficult to orchestrate without being detected. They looked into secret military projects, but no agency claimed the vehicle. They even explored the idea of atmospheric phenomena or a misidentified weather balloon. But these could not account for the reported shape, the landing gear, the noise, or the physical traces. The evidence collected from the site was sent to the Air Force Materials Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Their analysis concluded that the soil samples from the imprints were significantly compacted, as if by a heavy weight. The burned greasewood bushes showed signs of recent charring, but no chemical accelerants were detected, meaning it wasn't a simple fire set with gasoline. The metallic scrapings found near the site were identified as common alloys, not anything exotic. The case was a collection of verifiable, yet disconnected data points. Here is where the overlooked detail emerges, buried within the official case files of Project Blue Book. In his initial report, and in subsequent interviews, Sergeant Zamora described a symbol on the side of the craft. It was red, about 2.5 feet tall. He drew it for investigators. It looked like an upward-facing arrow or chevron, sitting above a horizontal line, which itself was above an inverted U-shaped arc. This detail was specific and consistent. It was not a random shape. For years, this symbol was treated as just another bizarre element of an already strange report. No known military or civilian craft bore this insignia. It was considered part of the mystery, a piece of the puzzle that fit nowhere. Investigators couldn't identify it, so it was largely set aside in the final analysis. The focus remained on the craft itself and the possibility of a conventional explanation. But the symbol wasn't completely unknown. Years later, researchers cross-referencing engineering archives found a striking similarity. The symbol reported by Zamora bore an uncanny resemblance to the corporate logo of a specific division within a major aerospace contractor, a company known for developing advanced vertical takeoff and landing, or VTOL, experimental aircraft during that very era. This was not a fringe theory, it was a documented corporate emblem. However, the company had no known projects that matched the vehicle described in Socorro, and they were never officially linked to the event. The connection was purely visual, a coincidence that was never formally addressed in the Air Force's public conclusions. It was a data point that existed just outside the official narrative. The official position from Project Blue Book, after a thorough investigation, was that the Socorro case was unexplained. Captain Quintanilla, despite being a known skeptic, could not find a conventional explanation that fit all the facts. In the final report, he wrote that they had found no evidence that the sighting was a hoax or that Officer Zamora had misidentified a known object. The case was officially closed, but not solved. Dr. J. Allen Hynek, who initially suspected it was a military test, eventually came to believe it was something more. He would later write that the Socorro incident was the Rosetta Stone of the entire phenomenon. A case with a credible witness, physical evidence, and no logical explanation. To this day, the Socorro landing remains one of the most compelling and well-documented cases on record. Lonnie Zamora stood by his story for the rest of his life, never seeking publicity or profit from it. He passed away in 2009, a respected community member whose single strange encounter on an April afternoon left an indelible mark on history. And the final, factual detail is this. The land where the event took place was later sold to a private citizen. The 4 impressions in the ground, once the focus of a national investigation, were eventually obliterated when the new owner, tired of tourists, leveled the site with a bulldozer. The physical evidence was erased, leaving only the documented record of a day when something inexplicable landed in the New Mexico desert.